how do we use actually live server. So basically what we do is that we go to the extension folder here. It is actually on VS Code. I don't know about any other software. Actually, this is the best platform that we can use for putting in, say, for coding and anything like that. So yeah, so here this is the HTML boilerplate. So if you want this boilerplate, this is actually not a boilerplate. This is the HTML basic boilerplate. This is the now that the things that you were shared with a boilerplate was shared with you with respect to Bootstrap and all. I hope that everybody has installed it and are ready with that, because actually it has links and script for today's actually webinar. So okay, we'll go through live server once again. So on the extension in the search, just write live server and the extension will be appeared in front of you. I have already installed it. So I just uninstall it again and I'll install it again, and it's just a seconds process. So yeah, so here you can see that the live server is started. Same goes with boilerplate. You can go to extension, search boilerplate, and here it is, the HTML boilerplate on the top, and you can install it. So, yeah. I hope the doubt is cleared about that. Okay, no, thank you. Okay, no problem. So from here, just double click on whatever machine you're using, whatever system it is, and you can open live server and see if it will open up.
Yes, yes, I think you can start now.
Okay, so we'll start. Yeah, cool. Okay, so the first thing for today I want to show is my screen visible and am I audible perfectly?
Yeah, you're audible. And
Just to the participants, I am actually having a network issue at my place. We were just running up a test chat, and I got to know that there might be some disturbance or that might be a lag during the things that I present. So just be with me. We'll cover everything slow and steady. Yeah. So today's topic is Bootstrap. So for today, the template would the practice would be somewhat in a different manner. So here, this is the template. This is actually what we can say a website or a development site or whatever the name is, or whatever name you want to give it to. This is something that actually we have made, you guys, and this is the home page. This is the about us page. This is the first product, which is the table, and this is contact us. So you might be thinking that this is something that we could also do with CSS, right? But why Bootstrap? Basically, why Bootstrap? So if I just minimize my screen, this would be a little more than your, this screen would be a little more than your phone. But yeah, so this is completely and nicely visible on this as well. Everything. The table as well, and the form as well. Yeah. So this is why precisely we use Bootstrap, and this is something that we are going to build today together. There are some codes that I've written which I'm not going to write again, because it's just that the framework has been provided to us by Bootstrap. So we'll not be writing it again and again. That's why we use Bootstrap. CSS is something that we write and we design. HTML is something that we write and we design. Bootstrap is something that the libraries, the framework is already been provided to us. That's why we use Bootstrap. for basically many reasons. I'll have a PPT for that, and I'll be just showing you why Bootstrap, what is CDN, what is a library, what is a framework, why Bootstrap, and all of that. So we can start with it. Okay. So firstly, the question would be, what is Bootstrap? So yeah, so Bootstrap basically was developed by Twitter and was released as an open source. So what is an open source? Open source is something that can be used for free and to everybody. Maybe who, abhi ho, everybody can use it the way we want, the way we want to design, the way we want to use it, and for free. That is something that open source means. So Bootstrap basically is a secondary framework of CSS. So what is CSS and why a framework is required? So in CSS, tomorrow we didn't teach you media queries and all of that because we had Bootstrap. When we were learning, we were taught media queries in which we have to write, we did write codes, media something to a particular screen. The screen for desktop is 1200. The screen for tablet would be approx 920. The screen for a phone would be 374 to 654, depending upon whichever phone you use. So that's why we used to write the media queries, the screen, and then with respect to that particular screen, we used to build up and we used to actually concise the website. But Bootstrap was introduced to us, and with respect to Bootstrap, we can actually develop mobile responsive website in just one go. The website that I have designed was designed by me on desktop, and it can be visible to you on mobile, on any website or any device that you want to use. Be it an iPhone, a small iPhone, a big phone, a tablet, a desktop, a larger desktop, anything would be displayed as it is. So yeah, so Bootstrap, that's why it's a framework, and Bootstrap is free to download and to use as well. So yeah, so why Bootstrap is used? So Bootstrap is used because it has a wide browser compatibility. So what does this mean? Wide browser compatibility means basically I am using my default browser as Safari. Many of them would be using the default browser as Chrome and whatnot. So let's keep it to Chrome and Safari. There are a lot of things that differ from Chrome and Safari. Safari has way more privacy, way more security, but there are a lot of things that are not compatible to Safari. There are a lot of things that Chrome would require extension and all of that. But Bootstrap is something that can be accessed by any browser, because of the responsive features. So what is responsive feature? I would be explaining in some time. Speed of development. So with respect to CSS, if I used to write something, I used to write something in HTML, then design it in CSS, give it out a particular framework. And then I used to write media queries to keep it concise. And I used to write a lot of things so that it could be properly visible on the laptop, on different devices as well. So now I have to just create a website on the desktop with respect to Bootstrap, the things that are provided to me, and I can access from any device and it would remain the same as well. Okay, yeah. So the third would, and yeah, of course, it is very easy to use. As would be starting up with the coding part, you will know that why it is easy to use. So the third part is, what is a responsive design? So responsive design is about creating websites which automatically adjust themselves to look good on devices from small phone to large desktop. So I'll just give you a brief idea on the later section that what does this mean. It just remember that this Bootstrap is used for the responsive websites, and it varies from small to large screens. So we'll be starting up with the Bootstrap part now. So I hope that everybody would have downloaded the boilerplate that was shared with you. That boilerplate was basically a boilerplate of Bootstrap with extensions, links, and scripts. So basically the boilerplate comprises basically of two things: link and script. So I'll just be giving a rough idea about what this is. So please don't ask me कि DOHZ वो सब क्या लिखा है, because that is something that Bootstrap has provided us with, and there's no point in writing or learning that what that exactly is. Basically, what this is, that this is a CDN that is provided by Bootstrap 4.0. 5.0 is the latest version that has released. You can also use that. It has a lot of features that are new and compatible and way more good framework. But to the basic part of this webinar, I guess Bootstrap 4.0 is way good to go. Yeah, so Font Awesome, here there is a link of Font Awesome. So what Font Awesome basically is that Here, so here, as you can see that we have a search icon. Here it is a tool icon, and here it is a delivery truck. So basically that part is provided to us by Font Awesome. So Font Awesome is a library of different icons, and we can actually implement that things on our website by scripting it out and linking it. So the next would be Ajax, jQuery, and Bootstrap. Ajax, jQuery is required for Bootstrap. This is a boilerplate is something that we require. Well, I just give you a short example that why do we use it? There is a box. I am standing from far from that box. I have to get up and take my hand, put it in that box, and take out the things that I want. So the process that I have to do is something that we need as a boilerplate. कि ये जो पार्ट होने वाला है मेरा, that is actually gonna be continuous and spontaneous. So I'll be getting up, I'll be taking my hand, I'll be putting it in that box, and I'll be keeping that, removing that thing, whatever I want. So this structure, to reduce this structure, to reduce this practice, what I can do is that I can either call the box near me, or I can just get up and sit near that box if I want to just do that part out. So that is what a boilerplate is, that we have installed the link and script inside our boilerplate, and we'll be using things online by this. I guess there is, can you once again show which extension we have to download for Bootstrap, please? Oh, there is actually no extension. This is just a boilerplate that was shared to you. And that boilerplate can be, I just go through how you can download that boilerplate, not download that boilerplate, it would be already on your desktop. I'll be telling you how to use it, where to install it, and what to do. Just let me finish with the presentation, and then as we move to the hands-on part, I'll be explaining slow and steadily that what has to be done. Yeah, so below here, this is the two things. Actually, let me just cut this part out so that we can get to the things that are with you. Yeah, if you don't have the boilerplate, don't worry. I'll be posting this boilerplate on the group as well. Just be with me till the end of this webinar. These things would be good if you do it on hands-on, but it would be way more convenient and way more utilizable if you actually know that what am I doing. The things that I'm writing are actually something that I'm going to provide you with. It's not that you have to type it out continuously with me and see what's going on. Just be with me, understand what the syntaxes are, what the framework is, what are the things that I'm using, what code I'm writing out, why I'm writing it out. And by the end of time, when you get the code, you can actually play it along with it. You can change colors, you can do a hell lot of things with this. Yeah, so this is something that I guess everybody would be familiar with. So this is the script that is required to integrate this link out. So let's not waste more time on this. We'll just go back to, yeah. So I guess everybody has a pretty basic idea about what a boilerplate is by now. A couple of years would do, and I can actually start with the Bootstrap contents. Okay, so I guess I can now start with the Bootstrap classes. Yeah, so the Bootstrap, the grid system. So this is something that Bootstrap was invented for, so that we can actually make our website responsive. Responsive का मतलब है कि I can just fit in from different screen to different screen and view my website as I want to view it. And it won't be concise, it won't be actually piling up on some things, and there was a lot of things that we had to write before, but because of the grid system, we can actually look it out very precisely and very nicely. So what the grid system is, that the grid system of Bootstrap is divided into 4 basic classes. So the first class is small x. X and S means small x. So that is for iPhone, that is for phone. SM is for tablets. MD is medium, that is for desktop, and LG large for larger desktop, like more bigger than desktop, like more than 16 inches, more than that. So this is what the grid system is. So the grid system is basically divided. Consider that it's not considered, it's actually there is that system, that a grid system is of 12, we can say 12 numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and 11 and 12. So this is something that my grid system is, and this is something that the grid system has done precisely to the laptop screen or to the screen of the biggest part. So 12 is something that is used all over by the laptop and by all of the parts. So 12, this is a single column. This is a photo that is using 12 parts of the system. This is the first column. This is the second column. This is something that is used by 6 and 6. So consider this is single column as a column, COL. This is a class in Bootstrap. So COL has a property of 12 parts. This is the first column has a property of 6 and 6. So basically you can see the difference that it has already been given a padding, a margin, and a space which is here. This is the first column and this is the second column, already has a space in between. So this is the, as we go down towards that, this is the first column, this is the second column, this is the third column, and this is the fourth column. This already has a padding and a margin, and it is completely and nicely visible. So this is what is done by Bootstrap. First, we had to write it down, put in media queries, look at how much size it would take, and then sort it out. But right now, by putting up column and by building up a grid system to this part, we could actually utilize it and use Bootstrap in a very authentic and a very nice way. So this is something that I hope थोड़ा ऊपर से जा रहा होगा. This is something, it's a very advanced part from tomorrow. So I know that some of the people would not be understanding it, but let the seminar get over, let the part get over. I'll be giving you a hands-on experience on this also. We'll be going through the code step by step, and I'm sure that you would be getting a clear idea about this. If not, then tomorrow we'll be arranging a doubt session for the people that don't understand it. They can share their screen, they can make clear that doubt. We'll be reciprocating it to them one by one. So this is what the grid system is. Tables. So कल हम लोग ने देखा था कि the table that Darshan had built was at a left-hand corner of the page. So from that left-hand corner, we want the table to be in center. And as I narrow down the screen from desktop to tabs to mobiles, I want that the table should be concise, but it should be in the middle as well, and it should be visible to me by my bare eyes. I should not be finding it, searching it, scrolling it out. So that is something that is provided by the class of responsive tables. I'll be giving this as a hands-on to you. Just remember that responsive table by putting in a class in the responsive table. जैसे हम लोग ने देखा था कि I had a h1 tag. I was assigning a class to it. Then I was giving a class name, and then I was going to CSS to design it out and give it a proper structure. Here, I don't need to do that. I'll be just doing is I'll be putting a table tag. I'll be giving that table tag a responsive table class, and that is it. Everything that I want, the table would be in center. The table would be, as I narrow down the screen, the table would be in the middle, and I would narrow it down to whatever screen size it is, and the table would be responsive to me and would be visible in a very good formatted way. So there are three types of table basically in Bootstrap. Three classes for Bootstrap for tables. One would be stripped rows, one would be bordered rows, and one would be hover rows. I won't be covering all of that. I would be covering hover rows for once, and the two of them are just the class name that you have to get in. I will be sharing up a sheet of Bootstrap also. As soon as you get this part, you need to just play it out with Bootstrap, try coding it out by your own, and I'm sure that you would be doing such amazing things on that website that you'll be happy by building up things today. So the secondary part of Bootstrap that today, this is Bootstrap images. So Bootstrap, yesterday on the first day, I guess Soren had explained images, and we were looking at the images, and it was also at a very left side corner and at a very secondary part. So that would be sorted out by containers, rows, division, and classes. We'll be seeing the code, and I'll be explaining it step by step. So the Bootstrap images. So there are three classes in Bootstrap images. One is image rounded, that gives the rounded corners. It doesn't make the image round, it gives the rounded corners. A lot of people get confused that image rounded means the image gets round. No, that is not the case. The case is that it rounds the corner of that image. image circle actually rounds the image. It's not completely round, it's somewhat oval, but yeah, the round for the website, a round circular part of image circle would do. A thumbnail, as you can see here, that it gives a border to the image. If you want to use thumbnail, it's very good to use, but most of people doesn't use this, so we'll be not getting in detail for images. Just do that part, that with this CDN that I have provided you with, the Bootstrap boilerplate, just write H1, write a image, just write div, write an image tag in that, get an image and assign an image to that image tag in the source file, and just use this class. And the image that you have used would be getting the rounded corners. If you use image circle, you will be getting image circle. And if you be using image thumbnails, you will be getting image thumbnails. So I'll be not actually focused on the Bootstrap images, because you need to just go through this class, place it in, download the boilerplate, write down that div part, assign an image to that, and use this class. And the things that I've displayed on the screen would be samely visible to you. The last part would be Bootstrap forms. So basically, what Bootstrap form is all about, that same goes with form as we had with table. The discussion remains completely same. When we were actually viewing out the form, it was at the right hand side or the left hand side. It was not in the middle. And as we narrow the tab down, the form that we'll be using for CSS is not very nicely visible on Bootstrap, was not nicely visible on the desktop and as well as the mobile. By using Bootstrap forms, there are certain classes that we need to use. There are certain things that we need to use. We'll be this is the last part that is of the presentation, and then we'll be actually jumping up to the hands-on part. And there we'll be slowly and steadily looking at each and every part. What is forms? What is tables? What is a grid system? I have example ready, a hands-on example ready for you guys. So we'll be covering up that. So there are three types of form. Basically, one would be vertical form, which is default. So this is a vertical form, a horizontal form, and an inline form. Horizontal form is something that is not widely used by a developer, क्योंकि एक part पे खाली horizontal पे अगर form रहेगा, तो scrolling भी बढ़ जाएगा, and when you narrow down the screen, it won't be nicely visible. So inline is something that you can use. I'll be showing you inline form and vertical form. And horizontal form is something that you can just see the style sheet and you can implement by yourself. If you find that cool, it would be very great. Yeah, so I guess the presentation is over here. And any doubts with respect to presentation? If yes, then please do put in the chat box. I'll be explaining that, and if no, then I'll be running up and jumping to actually what we are waiting today for. Yeah, I'll share the PPT, no problem. But Keshav, PPT is something that you won't be understanding a lot of part from it, because PPT is something that I have placed it out because it is a referral part, and formally the things start with the PPT. If you want the PPT, I will share that on the group. But the code that I've written, the thing that we are building right now, is something that I'll be sharing, and you have to focus on that more. Okay, so I guess there were a couple of notes, so we just run through this ones. Okay, so firstly, this is I'll just show you what are we going to build today. Just a second. What happened? Oh, okay. Yeah, I deleted the code. That was not visible. Yeah. Okay. So this is something that we are going to build today. There are not this image, this home, the hover of when you hover it, the color changes. There is a drop down. When you click on product one, the table appears. I can hover over the table, and we can see that as I go and go on one, it is a little bit lighter. When I go on two, it appears gray and all of that. Here is a contact form. I can actually select this out here as well. This is disabled, so you won't be able to select it. Here it is a multiple selected option, and here you can type up things, and here is the submit button. Okay, so we'll be starting up with the home page. Yesterday I missed the lecture due to just a second, there is somebody who had missed the lecture. Ronix, yeah. for Bootstrap, both boilerplate and live server should be installed. Yeah, it would be great if you the boilerplate is something that you would require. नहीं तो जो चीजें लिखा है, the syntax that we have written won't be visible, and it will throw a compilation of errors, and you wouldn't be getting idea of what that error is, because basically why you need boilerplate is that if I need something from somewhere, I need to have a particular path to that. So that path is being built by script and link. Link is something that I have, and it will call for, and script is something that will give to that link. So they both compile, and I can get the framework and the classes that were presently made for me. And okay, I guess the YouTube part has been sorted out. The lecture part, the person that has missed attendance. Yeah, so we'll actually go with the homepage today. Yeah. So this is something that I need you to comment it out. If you guys have any problem with respect to whatever I'm teaching, please comment me on that spot, because this is something.
Jill, you have muted yourself.
Sorry. Yeah. So sorry for that. What I was saying was this is a hands-on part where I'll be speaking up. You need to just understand it. If you can code with me, that would be wonderful. That would be actually marvelous. But to the fact that I know the codes are very long, and the codes are actually copy pasted from somewhere. There's a Bootstrap library from where the codes have been copy pasted. We'll be sharing you the link with a link of that also, from where you can copy paste it. Right now, there are two things to cover. Basically, the two things are, one is that how ID and class are used for actually framing and styling this part out, and how does this website get responsive. So if you have any doubt with respect to whatever I'm teaching, please comment in the chat box, and I'll be explaining it one more time. Okay, so we'll jump to the code. I'll just, yeah. So whatever we do, we can see it. Yeah, just a second. Okay. So basically, okay, let me grow from scratch. So if you have the boilerplate on your desktop, firstly double click on your desktop, create a new folder, name that folder. Supposedly, I'll suggest you to name that folder as a Bootstrap. Let's say boot. Yeah, okay. So in your, you will be pasting up your style sheet. So what you will be doing is, supposedly this is the boilerplate that was provided to you. You will be pasting that boilerplate here. This is done. So if supposedly I paste my boilerplate here, this is the boilerplate has been pasted. I'll be then clicking on the folder and would be opening up the boilerplate that was actually shared with me, and open it with Visual Studio Code. You won't be actually getting anything because your boilerplate is empty. All of the codes that are present here, I've written this. So if we delete this out for a second, and if we open that with live server, then you will have a blank, a completely white screen. So this is how you actually place a boilerplate in that folder, double click on the boilerplate, open with Visual Studio Code, and open it with live server, and you'll be getting a white template. So if this part is clear with you, then we'll be actually jumping up to the codes. Just put in a yes so that we can actually start with the main session. Okay, couple of yes, good, cool. So as I refresh this page out, actually I've not saved it. So if I save it on, just a second. Oh my. about product now. Okay, I need to open a library for that. Open the folder. Just a second. Let me just see what the problem is, and I'll get back to you. Yeah, sorry for the delay. Actually, I had lost that folder out. So yeah, I have got that back. And yeah, we can actually now start up with the part. So yeah, we'll be starting with how do we build this homepage out. Just have a look with it once. So what we can see is that this image, as I can see, as I will just highlight this part out, this image and the what is Bootstrap are actually two different things and are present in that same column. So how do we do that is, I'm just showing you the code up. Firstly, okay, we'll go with the navbar. So navbar is something that we can actually do see that it's present on every website that we see. So this is actually what the navbar is: the home, about us, product 1, 2, 3, 4, contact us, and everything actually is visible on the navbar. So if you want to jump and run through different pages of the website, go back, go forth, and do things that we want to do, navbar helps us to do that, and it is a very vital part of any website that we use. So first would be the navbar. So how do we build a navbar? So the first part is that navbar comprises of a nav tag. As you can see that it starts with a nav tag and it ends with a nav tag. Don't worry about the code. It seems a bit big, but this is something that you have to actually copy paste out. You just need to place in the right class at right part to just style it out. Navbar is already been provided to you by Bootstrap library. So this is not something that you be actually have to be worried about. Just understand that how does navbar work, wherein you have to place up things, what are the things that I've written in the class, and I'm damn sure that you'll be able to build Navbar by the end of this session as soon as I tell you from where you have to download things. Okay, so let us start with Navbar first. So the first class of Navbar would be Navbar, that it tells us that it's a Navbar to get us know. And yeah, I would also tell you, this is something that I do, that every time that you start a different thing, a different content, please do mention, please do comment. It's a very good practice for the developer. If I share you this code out to you, if I put this part on the Google Classroom that we are following, you will know that from here till here, it's a nav bar. From here till here is the part where what is a bootstrap. From here to here, it is why bootstrap. Yeah. So this is to comment, just do this, and you can actually comment. Okay, so this is how you can comment. You can just see it and give it a try, and you can actually comment out the statement that you want. So the first part would be bootstrap extend MD. So if you see at this line here, this part here, what is this is bootstrap expand MD. It means that the bootstrap has to expand, the bootstrap has to show the full bootstrap, means the navbar. The navbar has to be visible when and when only the screen is MD. And we saw that MD means tablet. This is a desktop. So the screen will only be visible when the whole part of the navbar would only be visible when it is a desktop. When I just close this part out. So it gives me a toggler. I'll be telling you what a toggler is. Just make sure that you get this part, that it would only be expanded when it is MD or it is more than MD. It would be actually toggling it out when it is on a smaller screen, something less than a tablet, a small phone, or something with some other device. Yeah. So the second part would be navbar style fixed top. I want my navbar to be fixed at this. If I move the website, my navbar stays there and there only. If I remove fixed top from here and I save it out, you can see that my navbar also goes up when I go move my website up. So I want my website, my navbar to stay. So I use fixed top. You can either use it or not. It's your call. Next would be MDS show shadow SM. It shows a shadow when it is on a smaller screen. As you can see that it gives a bit shadow. It's not a dark website, so the shadow doesn't actually make a point. But yeah, it has a shadow. And background white means that I want my navbar's background, the contact. These are the icons that I've designed. The navbar, the website, the part of the my navbar's background should be white. So this line basically means that it is a navbar. My navbar has to expand when it is more than medium. The screen is more than medium. I want my navbar to be of light color. My navbar style is something that I'll be displaying you when I go to my CSS folder, my style.css, and BG white means that my navbar's background color should be white. Okay. So this is something that I guess everybody can get to. I was very slow. And for the first tag is a tag. So what a tag basically is, that a tag actually provides us with a href. This is a href. So basically why the href is used is that if I want my if I want to actually travel from a website to a particular page. So say I'm on home page, I'm clicking on home, I don't go anywhere. But if I am on the home page and I click out the about us page, I go on about us. So this is done by hrefs. The a tags give you everything that you write from now should have a class, because if you want to design it out, if you want to actually style it out the way you want, it will require a class, and then you can go to CSS, write that class out, type that class out, and give a particular styling if you as you like. So the first part is the image, and the image has a href of index.html. So as you can see that this page is named index.html and it is going nowhere. This is the image tag that we have used. I have given it a height of 60 pixel and a width of 250 pixel. And the is anybody having a doubt? Because I heard someone speaking.
No.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yeah, just you're audible. Continue, I guess. Galti, sir.
Okay, no problem. Okay, cool. Yeah. So the image tag provides us you with that image, and look at this, that I have placed this image in the nav brand part. So nav brand is something that is used basically for an image. So if I place any image here and put out the style of height and width, and the alteration would be, means if there is no pic, supposingly we remove this image from here, the source file of this image from here, then what else should it be displaying would be this text that I have returned. So triangle design is something that has to be displayed if I have not inputted an image. But if there is an image inputted, then the image would be shown. So this is the first part. Then this is the button navbar toggler button collapse and collapse navbar, and this is bar 1 2 3. So this is the secondary part of actually the navbar. If the navbar is not on MD, if I actually reduce the screen size, then it should run this function out, and the function displayed should be a button. Button should have bar 1, bar 2, bar 3, and when I click on that button, I should get a drop down, and the drop down should have everything that I have actually displayed on the front screen, which is here. So if I reduce this part out, it goes to something less than MB, and I get the drop down here. Yeah. So I guess this is something that is cleared. This is the class of collapse navbar collapse, and the ID is collapse navbar. This is the bootstrap. This is the classes, the IDs, the framework is provided as by Bootstrap. Please don't change it because these are the libraries. These are the framework. Okay, let me get this with a good example. If I have a H1, I give it a class of head, and in head I want my H1 to have a color of blue, to have supposedly a font size of 2.5 25 pixel, and I want the background color to be red. But I am on the home page and I'm using that H1. But if I am on the about us page and I want the same functionality to be used there also, so what I'll be doing is I won't be assigning a different class name to that. I'll be reassigning the same class name to that, and all the properties that I have actually returned in the class name of the head one would be actually visible to that class, or visible on the about us page as well. Same goes with the classes that are given to us by the Bootstrap. So navbar collapse, the ID, it already has a different framework structuring on the Bootstrap library. By using the CDN and the scripts, we get those library online and it relates. So this is something that Bootstrap has provided us with. Though the second part would be the from here, from the div tag, this is something that we have to actually write. This is also something that we are provided the Bootstrap. The classes are something that we write. The href is something that we write. So if the first page is index.html, you have to make up those pages. If you don't make up those pages, what happens? I'll be showing you. So see here, there is a drop down menu. There is an navbar drop down style. There is a product1.html. The file has been created here, but product 2 and product 3 doesn't have any we can say any pages, so they won't be redirected to anywhere, and it will be showing us an error or cannot fetch that particular file. We'll be going through that also in a while. So the third part, navbar, basically every navbar basically has a drop down. So this is how the drop down functions. Here you write in the name of the thing that you want to show. So the first would be a tag followed by a class that you want to style or give a name with, then would be a href, and then would be a name that you want to give to that particular tag or a particular page. Yeah, so this is the home, this is the about us page. If I go on product 1, then I am actually not having the product 1 page. I'll be just doing something to that. If I go on product 2, the product 2 has not been built up yet, so it is not been redirected to anything. If I go to product 2, just a second. If I go on product 2, it is not going anywhere because I have assigned nothing to it. But if I assign a page that is not actually being built and save it up, so we get the part as cannot get product.html because it has not been built. but product one has been built. I have not made anything in that. That's why it's not visible. But I have, we can actually get that first boilerplate, that empty boilerplate from here. So we can see that if the page is not being built, there is a different error. And if the page is being built, then there is a different error all in all. So the third part would be the contact us. The contact us has a contact us form, and I'll be showing you a table, a form, and a particular part. So I guess up till now, navbar is something that everybody understands. If there is any doubt, please let me know, or I can proceed further. You have a doubt, or I can continue? Okay, no doubt. Continue. Okay. Okay, so I'll be continuing. So the second part of the website is what is Bootstrap and a picture. So here the grid system comes in. So basically, I was talking to you about the grid system. So just follow this part out, that the grid system should start. So basically what Bootstrap, what I prefer to do in Bootstrap is start with a section tag. So this is a section tag, write a ID, assign ID to a section tag. Never assign a class to the section tag, because ID is something that is precise and should not be used anywhere. As you can recollect from the previous lectures, ID is something that we use only once, the name, and it's not used anywhere. The name, the ID name is not used anywhere else. Then give a div tag, right? Two div tags, then give the container. So basically, why a container? So container is a class that is given to us by Bootstrap, and the things that I was talking about, that things are in middle. So if we inspect this part out, see, so the spacing that we have here, the part that the div row is of 1140 pixel into 351, but I told you that it was of 1200 plus. So that the two parts that are left out from here are left out by container. So it gives you a thing that is actually concise. So it gives you the spacing, it gives you the default spacing here. So as I can see that I am getting a default spacing out here when I go to this part. So the green part is something that is a padding. The orange part is the padding that is provided to us by the container. As you can see, div.container.py5. So py5 is something that I have returned, and div.container, the container's padding is in the orange that is provided to us by Bootstrap. So it makes everything come to the middle of the part, and then it keeps on concising it, and then it provides us with a necessary padding. So this is what a container does. So the next part would be a row and a column. So row and column are two basic part of grid system. Every column needs a row. If you know a basic table, every column needs a row. With respect to row, there is no column. If I don't use column, I don't need rows. So here, as I told you, that the column has a part of 12 things. The column is divided into 12 parts on the desktop, or on any the column is divided by the Bootstrap in 12 different parts. If I write 6 here and 6 here, then I can see that the image has been divided in a very actual manner way. And I can see that, see, here the column MD6 is this column MD6. Rest of it is the padding that I have provided, and the blue part is the spacing and everything that is provided to me with respect to column, which is of 6 bytes. And same goes with the second part, which is the what is Bootstrap and the H3 and P that I've assigned it to it. So the column, so it is of 12 parts, and the container is of 12 parts, and I have divided the container into two basic form. One is a column which is of 6, and one is column which is of 6 again. And so by doing this, by assigning column and putting that in a row, both of them would have in default padding. They both would be separated, as we saw that in the presentation over here. This was of column 12. This is of column 6. So this is the first column, which is of column 6. This is the second column, which is of column 6. And this default padding has been provided to us. As you can see, here the green one is the default padding that is being provided to us. So this is how the column functions. So why Bootstrap? Is the column and the grid part okay with you guys? Can I continue further? Okay, good. So now I have used a second property of Bootstrap, that is cards. We'll be again inspecting the website out and we'll get to know about what card is all about. So as you can see that I have used grid system here also. When you are building something with Bootstrap, grid system is must be used. We use grid system so that we can have particular spacing. We could have the padding margin by default from the Bootstrap libraries. So firstly, we would be assigning it a section. Then we would be okay. I was just looking at the chat, somebody. Okay. First, we would be assigning a section which is of class m by 5. So what m by is margin. Margin means the small indication of margin means m and p means padding. So m is margin and p is padding. What y and x represents is the horizontal axis and the vertical axis. So m by my y means that I want a margin of 5 from the top and the bottom. It would be considerable from the top and the bottom, m by 5. And if I use mx5, I would be getting a margin from the horizontal plane. Then I use a container so that I can have everything in the middle and I get a necessary padding for my classes. Then I use a class of underline and text center. So what text center does is that H3 doesn't have a class of something. I have to tell the text to be in center. So I use text center. So I just remove text center for once, save it up, and we'll see what happens. So you can see that, okay, I'll just reload the website once again. Yeah, so so it was not perfectly visible. So text center is something that if I want my text to be in center, I have to use text center. Do save the changes that you are making so that the live server gets it up, or else it will be of no point of the changing you do, and the things that you want to change won't be reflected. Okay, so then we use a row and then we use a column of MD4. So from here we get the column of why we use the column of MD4. So here the column is of MD3. Similarly, as I have used 6, I can also use 4. I also use 3, 2, 1. 1 and 2 are not precisely used. 3 is also something that I would tell you not to use. But 4, 6, 8 is to 2, 12 with respect to even numbers. However, you want to divide 12 in, you can divide it. It can be 12, it can be 6 or 6, it can be 8 or 4, it can be 4 and 8, it can be 2, 2, 2, 2 up till 12, it can be 3, 3, 3, 3, 3 up till 12. However you want to use, it can be used. So here I have used a column of MD4. So what column MD4 means? That I want a column on the middle screen of MD4 and then it can shrink. So if I go from the middle screen to a small screen, you'll see what the difference is. I'll just let that difference know. Then class of card body. So here you can see the card body also is something that provides you with a proper padding and margin. Everything in Bootstrap provides you with basically two major things, margin and padding. If we want our website to actually use right things, you use margin and padding that is provided us by container that gives us things in center and gives out the secondary borders, padding and margin by row, column, and card body and cards. I see I can have a doubt. Bootstrap plus. Okay, I guess that is solved by Darshan. Thank you, Darshan. Then I have assigned a class of card body. Then I have assigned a I tag, a H3 tag, a P tag, and a div tag. First, let me show you that what it does when it goes from medium to a downer part. Then I'll be explaining you the bootstrap and the CSS that is used. I'll just close the inspect element. I'll see. It's dark. I am actually not visible. I will just turn on the room's light and we'll continue the session. So see, it is in a horizontal pattern. It is in the horizontal manner. As soon as I shift my screen from laptop, means from LG to MB, which is less than MB, I get a padding which is default. This is not something that I have given. I have given some margin of MB3. I'll be explaining you that, but the overall padding from the sides, which is your and the downwards padding has been provided to with provided me with the bootstrap, and the part that it strings and it is in the vertical part is also provided to me by bootstrap. I guess I'll just turn on my lights and we'll continue. Just a second. Yeah, I guess now I am visible. Yeah, I am. Okay, cool. So we'll be continuing with the session now. Cool. So from here, I get that what MD4 means, and this MB3 provides me with a margin. M, I have told you that it is margin, and B means bottom. I want my margin of 3 to the bottom of that particle or the bottom of that card, of bottom of that column. I need some more padding or some more margin. So I use MB3. I can use PB3 also, which would give me padding, but that would be towards the internal part of the content. I want a margin to from the outer part of my content. That's why I use MB3. So now we'll be just going through that how the CSS is functioned out. So the same goes with the second card, the same goes with the third card, and then we close the section. I'll just show you a simpler way of writing a class. So right, okay, I'll be just writing a section, pressing enter. Then if we want a class, then type a dot that represents class, give a class name of icon. I'll just give that a class name of class and name. And okay, I just spelled it out wrong, sorry. Class name, and I press enter and I get the div tag with a class name or class name. So this is something that you need to write. Don't keep on writing div, then class is equal to, then the exclamation mark, the anchor tag, and then the class name. Don't do that. Just write. I'll show you again. Just write section. In the section, put in a dot, then write the class name. I'll just put the class name as heading now and press enter. Okay, I just missed that part out. Heading and enter, and I get a class name of heading. So by this class name, I can do whatever I want. So please do that, and this can also be done for H1 also. H1 tags can be also be done by these things by putting a class name of that. Oh, my internet connection is unstable. Am I audible? Hello,
Yes,
am I
you're
audible?
audible.
Okay. Yeah, it's a bit lagging. I have internet issue. Sorry for that. But I guess it would be sorted out. I'll be shifting to a different device if it lags more. Yeah. So this is the part that, so first we'll just go through that what image fluid means. Image fluid means that I want my image to be given a class and a part where it works similar to the column part. It gives me a particular margin and a padding. So I won't be explaining what image fluid means. self-align center is also, I don't need this. I don't know why I've returned this, but no, I won't be needing this. That is cool. Yeah. So this is the class is underline 2 and here. Okay. So I would be first telling you why do we use span, and then I'll be running up with the CSS. So the span, we use span because here you can see that Y and Bootstrap are of two different colors. If we want to assign two different colors to the same heading that is present, we have to use span in this manner. First, we have to write the class that we want to give it to Y, then we use span, then we use class, then we give the class name. I have used span, and then we write Bootstrap in that span, and then we close the h3 tag. So my Bootstrap has a class of span and my Y has a class of underline and text center. So this is something that's why we use span. I just show you the CSS for span. So yeah, CSS, I'll just show you that how do you make a CSS part. First, right click, make a new folder. Right is at CSS, press enter, and CSS is already taken. So it won't be generating up a new CSS. In this CSS, just be here, open with Visual Studio Code. It would open this file, and then in CSS, type a new page and make it style.css, and then you can write the codes in style.css. It's already been taken, so it won't be coming up again. And here is the real sheet for the style CSS. As I've told you yesterday, we were actually using CSS, but why we use a CSS folder and assign style CSS to that folder is because there are many different types of styles that we do. So everything in CSS would be very nice so that we can know that this particular folder has been assigned just for styling. This particular folder is just for images, and the rest of the parts are actually the different pages of our website. The pages, the bifurcation of that would also be taught to you, that we have two different user interface, if we can say. First is for admin, second is for user. So we'll be making up a folder in which we'll be putting user pages to user and admin pages to admin folder. That would be taught when we jump up to PHP and the live projects. Yeah. So now we can actually move this styling. I'll just wind up styling in a bit hurry because styling is something that you do by your own. It's just that I have styled this part out. I just want to show you that how secondary styling is used. For example, here I have given a nav bar link. So the nav bar link style should have a background color of white, and the border bottom should be of blue, dark blue, something like that. So that is the color that we have the border bottom of. And then we have nav link style. This is the class that was assigned to, just a second, to this audience. Yeah, the nav link style. So as I had told you that this is the UL and LI. We had looked at UI, the unordered list and the ordered list. So this is UL, and in turn, in UL you write an LI, give it a class. The class is necessary if you want to do further changes. I have given this class, and it doesn't do things like that. It's not doing anything in this particular portal or website. This is something that we have to focus on right now. Here the class is navlink. Navlink is the class that has to be provided from Bootstrap. You won't be creating navlink by your end. Navbar link style is something that I have used so that I can give it a particular CSS of my particular. Just a second, Kunal Thakkar has a doubt. So light.css, do we use another file for Bootstrap? As no, Bootstrap, in Bootstrap, Bootstrap is a part, we use CDN in Bootstrap, the links and scripts, so that every part of linking and scripting has been provided in the CDN, and use .html and .css for precisely Bootstrap. If we are talking about JavaScript, then it would be something else. It would be .js. If you are using React Native or React, it would be .jsc. That is a completely different story. But for Bootstrap, it would be only two things, One would be .html and one would be .css. CSS for style sheets and HTML for pages. Okay. So now just focus on this part, which is navbar link style, and we'll be going into the CSS. And navbar link style has a color of blue, dark blue. It has a font weight of 500, font size of 15 pixel, letter spacing of 1 pixel, text transformation of uppercase, and these are the margins that I provided. What this important part does is that if I want something to be implemented on my website, hook or by crook, that is very much important to me. Then I use a exclamation and an important, and the CSS would notice that part out. CSS actually bifurcates the style sheets between important and non-important. Important things are looked first and other things are looked afterwards. Okay, yeah. So this is the navbar link that I have actually made, and see, by putting up a function of hover. This yesterday we were talking about that how do we use two classes in one line. So the first class of hover to the navbar style class. So we put in a colon, right, hover, and when I hover on my website, the color is the color that I've assigned. If I make this color as what we can say, see, it is orange. So I'll be putting it back to the color that I wanted. And yeah, so this is basically, yeah. So the bar that I had there, the bar also had classes. So the bar had a width of bar. Actually, I'll just show you what bar is. Bar is this part. The three lines is the first is bar 1, the second is bar 2, and third is bar 3. So this helps us when we want to get when we are from a screen of when we are on what I'm saying, yeah, when we are on the screen that is less than MB. So this is what it does. Yeah. So I actually haven't saved it, that but it was orange. Now it would be green if I hover again. So this was the drop down menu. There is a class of drop down menu which has a margin of this. There is no border that I want to assign. There is a box shadow that I want to use. This all are just the styling that I have done so that it looks attractive. This is something that you have to write. If you want to use it, you can use it. If you don't want to use it, you cannot use it. That is completely fine by your hand. It is not a compulsion that you have to style the way I have styled. I have this commented this out because it was something that was actually a bit more of a styling. So I have just removed it up and commented it out. So yeah. So this is when I hover my style sheet. But what if I want to hover my drop down item? So I have a part of drop down item, and that drop down item I want to use the hover style, and I want the margin left of nothing. So hovering up my link, my navbar link style, that is also assigned to my drop down menu over here. Yeah, so the style has also be presented here. Okay, no problem. And it has a class of drop down item. So here it is, and I can actually hover it up and see that it also changes. I'll just live over it, and as you can see that it when I hover it up, it changes that color and it is green. So up till now, I guess the styling part is okay with you. And insert an animation, please. Sorry, bro, animation is something that the blinking would be an animation. It is an advanced part, and I could actually take up 15 minutes of writing it down and showing you the animation. And as I can see, it's already 7:15 and I need to cover a hell lot of things. So I'll be taking up animation when we start up building a project. I'll be surely taking up animation. For sure. Yeah. So I guess everybody is okay with the bootstrap, the navbar part. Please give me a yes, pass, so we can proceed further. Okay. So now same goes with this, that I have a part of a name of underline 2, which is a bootstrap. And what this underline 2 does, see, this is something that I have already explained to you, so I won't be repeating it up again. I'll be just explaining what this underline 2 does. This color gray, You can also, that Soren had told you that you can also style it from here. So I've styled the p tag from here so that it can be visible to you. And I have assigned a underline to class to what is Bootstrap. So you can see here what Bootstrap is. What Bootstrap is, I guess there is some. Okay, I just sort it out. What Bootstrap is in black, and there is an underline of blue color in it. So in style sheet, as we see, your I also comment out my parts in style sheet also, so that we can actually bifurcate that what classes are used where and what are the things that we are using and where. So underline actually has why Bootstrap has, it was what is Bootstrap, sorry, it was what is Bootstrap, right? Yeah, it is what is Bootstrap. So there is an underline, and this is the background that I'm using. Liner gradient means a line that I want to actually place it in, and linear gradient is something that I'm using because I want two types of color in that part, and there should be no repeat in the bottom left. This is also something that I have used. It is no compulsion that you have to actually install or place in a underline. That is just for my sake. So card hover, I want the card hovering on this pointer. I'll be going to it in a later part. Yeah, so I want a padding bottom of 1 rem, the margin of 1 rem, the color should be, I just change the color here for you and we'll see what happens. I'll be saving it. And as you can see, the color has changed. So I'll be actually making it. It was, yeah. So I have saved it up now, and the color would be black again. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I guess the second part is also clear. Same is with, I'll be just explaining you that how the cards are hovering and why the color is also changing. The border color is changing. Firstly, every card has a border. If you want to get the border, if you don't want to get a border, I'll be displaying in the contact us form. The contact us form has a shadow and but no border. So I'll be displaying you why there is no border and how you can actually get the board, how you can actually not have a border. But with card, it comes with the border. So I have used this border in a very animative way, I can say. It's not a big animation, but yeah, somewhere hovering is also an animation. So there is a card one, which would be having a part, and I have assigned a class of hover, text center, and the text should be black, which would be inside it. And this is that font awesome icon that is being used. The font awesome icon, I just have to go to the site of font awesome, select, I'll just do a font awesome, right? Font awesome, click OK, search for search, and it would be displaying you with a search. Click on search here and copy this out. Just copy this, don't do anything, just copy it and just paste it here, and you'll be getting the following part out. I won't be copy pasting it again because I have to I would be required to copy this up and do a hell lot of scan. We are actually running short in time, so that is how you can actually insert what do you say, a font awesome icon on your browser or the web. So this, and I have given it a class of text black, hover or animation. So of card one dot hover. So you can see one px solid should be this. This is the YK transformation, and this is the two animation that gets the border up and down. It changes the color of the border and it transforms it out. So this is the styling that we have been used. I won't be getting deep into the styling because that is something that you do by yourself, the way you want to do. So we'll be covering a different chunk now. I guess that card part is also being clear to you, that I just go through it one more time. That first there would be a container, then there would be a class of something that we give it a title, then there would be a row, then there with row there would be a column of whatever size you want to give, be it margin bottom, and this is the classes that we are actually getting and are using for styling. I guess this the card part is also clear to you. Please put in a yes so I can proceed further. Or if there are any doubts, please let me know so I can actually. Okay, so I can go further. Nice. So now there is actually a footer that we have. I haven't commented it out. Okay, I just put in a comment of footer so that when you get the code, you can easily access it out. That where is where. Okay, so this is where the footer starts. Footer starts with a tag of footer as navbar starts with a tag of nav. Here, the part remains same. It is done by grid system itself. So first there's the container, then there is row. Footer rows gives you a better representation of margin and padding, but row would also have done. Then there is a class of column 12, and in that column 12, I want the column to be of only 3. Then here it is 3 and here it is 6. So when we inspect that part out, we would see that, just a second, I'll be just inspecting it, that yeah, see, as we can see that the column, this is of column 3, this takes a hell big of chunk, and this takes the again the column of 3. So the, as I will repeat it again, that the green part represents the padding and the margin, the orange part is from above, and the internal part is in blue. So all the external padding that a column has been available to you. And as we see the container has a provided us with a padding of orange by itself again. Okay, so this is the grid representation. I guess up till now, at least grid representation has been you are actually able to understand that what grid representation means. First there would be a section, then there would be a container, then there would be a row, then there would be a column, and then there would be the things that you want to write. So these are the things that you have to use if you want a proper styling and padding and a margin to be provided in Bootstrap. So now I'll be taking up the form part. If yes, please tell me yes. And I guess there is a table part also left. If we run out of time, form is something that would also take a bit of time. We'll be taking up tables tomorrow. We'll be starting up with form. Just tell me yes, and we can start up with form. Is there any problem with respect to grid system of or the front page? I'll be sharing you the boilerplate with the codes that I have written. You can just inspect it out. You can do the changes, and you'll get to know that what codes I have written. I cannot explain bit by bit as we have crunch of time. The webinar is only for one and a half hour, and I have started from the scratch. So I have not explained the styling, but I have explained you every single part of it. Can I go to the form tag now? The contact us .html that the form tag was. Okay. Yeah. So we'll be putting up on the live server, and this is the contact us form that we are using. So basically, what I want to tell you is that there are basically 3 parts that are in the form. One would be the radio button, one would be the multiple select, and other would be a checkbox. I have not included a checkbox. I'll just do it when we go to the code, and there is a submit button. So please understand form is something that is required for PHP and MySQL. Every input data that you want to give to your backend is to be given by a form and by certain parts. I'll be explaining you form a bit in the detail what is everything. So actually, let's start with form. Yeah. Okay. So this is the navbar that we were using. This is the footer that is present. I'll be also explaining a bit of not JavaScript actually, but copyright claiming, how you can actually part copyright and get the year as soon as the year has. I'll be just going through that as soon as we complete. what we can say, form. Okay, so your the drop down now, I guess this is forms. Okay, I understood out forms. So from your my forms is that. Okay, so as I told you that first write a section, end with the section. Don't worry, the code seems a bit big, but when you get it that what is going on, you'll be thinking, oh shit, this code is not something that I was actually afraid of. Okay, so section, that is a class of py5. Again, py is for the padding on the y-axis. Container also has a padding of 5. Then there is row. Then there is a column of MB3 here. Then the column is of MD6 with a division shadow. Okay, this actually is not required. Okay, then there is a column of MD6. So what this means is that MD6 represents that when it is the column is of 6 part and it is in the center, and when it is into MD, then you need to shrink it accordingly. So if we actually shrink it out to, the form won't be okay. Actually, we have given a live server. I'll just tell you. Yeah. So why actually now I got to know that we had used this column MD3 and we have assigned nothing to it, so that the column could be in the column MD6. The form that we have used could be in the center of the room. So if I write here something, it would be visible. I have to style it nicely, but I want my column to be in the center. The 3 is something that the container has provided us. MD3, that's suppose I have given it, and I use column MD6 so that my part could be in the middle. So I will open this with live server and I sync it up, and I can see that my form works absolutely fine. I can see my form in a very nice manner as well. So we'll be going up through form, and I see that we are actually in a crunch of time. We'll be taking up tables tomorrow. Today we'll be only learning a form. Please be with me till form because it is a very important part for MySQL and PHP as well. So first, what is a form group? Form group means that all the inputs that are to be provided in the form should be started from a form group. Form group provides us with the basic margin and padding and everything which a form looks like. Label is something that is assigned on the previous part, the email address, so that I guess somebody is talking and it is disturbing the whole class. Please mute them. Okay. So form group is the style class provided by the Bootstrap that we use so that it gives us a proper padding and margin. So this is part. I just inspect it so that you can see. Yeah. So just a second. Yeah. Form. The form group. So the thing that you can see, the label, the form group, and the part that the space that is given to us, that is given to us by the part of form group. The label represents your, which is email address. I'll just make this a little big so that you can get it up. I'll be scrolling up as soon as I go down. It would be a good way to learn from here. So the secondary part would be the form group. Then we have a label. Then we have an input field. So what does the input field does is that here the input is typed. So if I type in something and it doesn't have a at the rate and a particular gmail.com or yahoo.com or something like that, it won't be accepting it. This is something that is provided to us by Bootstrap. Type is something that is provided to us. We don't need to check it out completely again and again. We just need to type it out password and it would check whether the password is there or not. There are a lot of input types as well for supposingly type of input submit. So the button type is submit. So if I click on the submit button, here in the form, we write, sorry, I have to write about that. If we write action and here we write a particular page from where we have to actually, we want the action for the backend code. Basically, it's a backend code from where we want the action to happen, on which page the action should happen. So by submitting this, it goes to action, it goes to the start of the form, it looks at where the action has to take place, it goes to that secondary page, it actually does the codes that we have written in the backend, and then it processes it. So everything that we want to process has to be given by the input field. So basically, what, again I'll repeat, what form group provides us with is, form group gives us the basic padding and margin. Type input type gives us with the type of things that we want to have: text, supposedly email, password, and it would be checking it that there are certain necessary parameters. We'll be taking what are the necessary parameters in the PHP, but there are certain necessary parameters that it checks. What a placeholder does is that you can see here that name@email.com, password@123. Here we have provided a label to that. But what if we don't provide a label? We just provide a box, and the person doesn't know that what I have to write in here. So we place in a placeholder and give it a placeholder. For example, you have to write your email of name, address, and example of whatever it is. This required part is actually a part of a Bootstrap, but it is used for PHP. For example, if we submit the form, please fill out this field. Require means that you have to write in something of the type of the input type, done, and then only I'll be submitting the form. Else, there is no use of submitting this form. Same goes with different parts. So the form check inline, as we can see that the radio button are in a vertical manner, a horizontal manner, are not in a vertical manner. So the form check inline does that it gives everything in a vertical manner. Here the class is form check input and the type is radio. If I make this as check box, save it, then you can see that here there is a checkbox. 2 is a checkbox, as you all can see. But I won't be requiring a checkbox. I'll be requiring a radio button. I'll be saving it. And again, I can see that there's a radio button. If you want to disable something, then you have to actually give it out a part of disabled, and it would be disabled. So I guess of check box has been covered, the inline part has been covered, the form group has been okay. If you want to see this, the drop down in navbar means different and the drop down in form means different. Supposingly, I want to get a drop down of what we can say, please select your gender, and I give the first option as male and the second option as female. So this is where a drop down comes in, where I can be select male or female, and only that particular input that I have selected is something that is going to be submitted. So this is, I'll be actually doing, yeah. So this is where the part plays in. This form control is a part that is provided us with the Bootstrap, and this is something that is also provided provided us with the Bootstrap itself. So this is the part that is used. The value that you write for your what do you say, the checkbox should be different. If we write, I write value 1 and value 2, then I would have a problem because the checkbox won't be selected properly. So I have to write the value differently. I guess last part would be the submit button. I have given the submit button a class of button submit, and same way class of button submit has different color, a background color this, and the color is this. So it gives me with that. The card 2 is used. So yeah, I was telling you that if you want your part to don't have a border, what you can do is that you have assigned a particular card to it. My form is in a card, which is your, the class of card is your, and I have your given a border 0. You can do it, you can write the border 0 here, or you can go to CSS, write that part here and give a border none. Both would work. Anything would do, both would work. And I have also given a class of div shadow to just provide a effect of box shadow to my particular form. a secondary part of table has also been left, but I guess that it's already 7:34, and the table tag would also take 15 to 20 minutes more. So I guess today we'll be concluding this up. I'll be sharing my table return code to you guys. You have seen how does it look. If you just go through it once, play with it today, play with Bootstrap today. Don't just sit home and do nothing. Download this template, do the necessary styles you want to, go to the cheat sheet that we'll be providing you with, and you will be actually getting a lot of things of Bootstrap. You'll be getting a lot of idea about what is Bootstrap, how do you style in Bootstrap, what are the different things that Bootstrap provides us. There are a lot of things that I have not used, for example, testimonials, carousel, accordion, alerts, but those are some advanced parts. Alert is something that I guess we'll be using when we'll be making PHP. Alert basically means it pops up on the screen itself, on the Bootstrap screen itself, on the top of the form. So if I use an alert, it will be actually popping up. Just a second, I'll show where does it pop up. It will be popping up it will be popping up above the card shadow, so that it tells me whether it the things that I've entered is right or wrong, things that I have written are submitted or not. So that is where we use alerts. There is no point of using alert here because there is not valid. It's not validating a form. It's not doing. It's actually doing nothing. So this is a basic idea of the form tag, and this is the basic idea of the grid system as well. I'll be sharing up everything with you guys so that you can just have a look to it. Uh, do the styling as you want to do, and I guess we can wind up the session. Attendance link is already been provided, so we can also end the session. Thank you very much. I know today was a bit too much, and it was a big step from CSS to Bootstrap. We did not cover a lot of things in CSS because we were going to use that in Bootstrap. So I know that it would actually be a bit too much for you guys, but if you play with it, if you read the code that I've written, if you understand what I've told you about the grid system, Bootstrap would be easy to use. So I'll be stopping my share screen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Josh, for the amazing session today. We'll be continuing tomorrow, and the link for today's session will also be sent to you in your groups by tonight. Thank you, guys. Have a nice day. We'll see you tomorrow.